you had something that you wanted to start off with Cece?
Yeah, so for those who don't know, I would say for those who just joined us and they don't know who you are, I don't know why anyone wouldn't know who you are, but for those who don't know who you are, I guess tell us about what you do as far as not, whether it's poetry or music or business. For those who don't know, she does do business inquiries as well. So why don't you talk to, like, we'll start from that and then we can see where the conversation goes.
Okay. Yeah, Cece does it all. Like, Cece can
Yeah.
do it all. I'm impressed.
I do
She
a
does
lot.
resumes. She's a whole bunch of stuff.
So my name is Cece Flow. I go by Cece Flow, kind of like Run Forest Run, because I too was once in a wheelchair. I do poetry, spoken word poetry, slam poetry. I write editorials as well. I'm working on a book also. And I just did an article for a magazine called Shift, and it is about brand building. I'm also a business owner. I own Cece Flow's professional and creative services. So the professional side is because I have a background in human resources. So I've been writing resumes since I was 15. I do resume writing, I do cover letter writing, I do job interview prep skill courses. Those are one-on-one. Sometimes I do also group sessions as well to get people ready for interviews, to pay attention to body language, to pay attention to how you're answering the questions and how to be prepared for the type of questions that you will be asked. So I'm really keen at that. And then the creative side is for graphic arts. I make logos. My big order right now is like my threshold is branding kits. I make branding kits. I help companies, whether they are revamping their brand or they are starting off. I help them build their brand from the ground up. Now, these branding kits are not just, oh, here's some pretty colors and fonts and things like that. These are 50-page manuals. And these manuals that they explain everything. What is your brand's voice? What is your brand's vision? What are your core beliefs? And how are we going to correlate that into a visual aspect? And so it does start with a 3-step process, which is generally I send out a questionnaire. And then it starts off with the colors, like the color schemes, because I'm also I'm a certified color specialist. So there's colors, there's font or your typography, and then your third step would be the logo. So sometimes this method can go back and forth quite a bit. It can take up to a month. It can take up past 90 days. It really just depends on what the project outcome, is presenting, if we're meeting, if we're not. So sometimes it's a lot of back and forth. I have designed these questionnaires because I do write in these manuals. This is really for like people who are opening up like an S Corp or a C Corp or something like that. So if you are looking to get stakeholders, you want to have something that is concrete. This is our brand. This is what we believe in. This is why. Now it's pretty. And I make it pretty.
I'm so glad you brought that up because I wanted to mention something that, because again, you said colors, font, and logo. And I mean, whether people believe it or not, there is a psychology behind that. So I'm actually really curious about your whole branding kits, but I think you kind of actually already answered my question. But again, can you give me an example of like a consultation you have with a type of business as far as like that psychology? Because again, using certain types of font gives off a certain kind of emotion. So definitely talk about that.
So a lot of the times you want to stay away from too much. I always say script is beautiful. I love script. I write in cursive. I love it. But with the public school systems these days, they're not teaching the youth script. They're not teaching them cursive. So even though it looks so beautiful, people aren't going to understand what it is unless they're like older. And so I always say it's okay to use script as long as it's maybe loose script, or if you use maybe the first letter is script real fancy and then the rest is something that is more readable. So like bold print or like it's called like there's like the Gothic kind of like Renaissance time. That kind of stuff is like I wouldn't suggest using that if you're going to have a word that is longer than 4 letters. So it even depends on the count of how many letters you're using as well to make it pop. Like graffiti letters, don't use more than 5. You're not going to be able to see what it says. So I always say make sure it's readable. Make sure that if it's bold, it's a beautiful bold that gives just enough to read it.
So like if you're more of a feminine
Yes,
minded company, you want to use that kind of softer pastel-y potential
yes,
colors, or
it's really
and
how your brand is, because believe it or not, brands do have gender identity.
yeah,
And
they have
even in the
a market. You
questionnaire,
have to identify who your market is, and if you're targeting
exactly.
a certain demographic, you need to appeal to a certain demographic. So like I said, there's a
That's
huge
true.
psychology to this, so
It is,
that's
because it's all
incredible.
about subliminal traction as well.
Hmm.
So it's not just, like I said, 3 steps. 3 steps is just how I break it down to make it more simplified. But there is a subliminal underlining psychological method that you're using, because it's like, if you think in your head, oh, I can see Nike. Think in your head, oh, I can see McDonald's. Oh, think in your head, I can see Microsoft. It's because there is a science to it. There's a business equity model. It's called Keller's. It's called Keller's branding model, and it basically is a pyramid. In this pyramid, I have it here. The pyramid shows you exactly the fundamentals of what questions you want to ask. It's like, who am I as a brand? Who are you as your target? And then it's like, how can I benefit the target audience? How can I benefit consumers? So the main thing is not really the visual appeal. It's the amount of positive experiences that customers are having with these brands that make a brand as successful as McDonald's, that make a brand as successful as Apple.
Wow.
Like almost like it's real estate. Like when you walk into the home, you want an emotional reaction. You want to feel safe or just warmth, whatever that connection is. So I'm so fascinated by that, Andy. Isn't that incredible? Because again, you have to market yourself.
Yeah, no, it's so true. And it's like, I'm just, wow, like what she just said, there was certain stuff that I didn't even know what that was until you just mentioned it. So that's very, I just learned something just now too. I love that, the who we are, who you are, and you know, your target audience. And it's just, it's so cool, man. Like that really is.
I would like to do, if
Um,
it's okay, just to break it down a little bit easier for you guys. I want to read just the first page of my article that's going out for publication. Uh,
Absolutely.
and I did the layout. Of course, I did the layout. I wasn't going to just do the words, but I also did the layout for this.
oh, that's beautiful.
Okay. So I'll just read it really quick, just so it gets more, just gets, it just, I break it down a little bit better.
I think
So
that's great because I think a lot of us want to hear more of a clear cut way.
okay. So it
to
says,
feel this.
branding, brand identity, branded content, brand awareness, brand building. Personally, I used to think to make a popular brand identity is just had to look pretty. A majority, if not all value, was placed on the visual concept when identifying a brand. Once I ventured out and became a business owner that specialized in custom graphics and all things branding, was a course of understanding I had to take, in which my initial view was steered into truly understanding the essence of a brand. I bring that to light and ensure the visuals correlate with the identity and core beliefs. Understanding the why plays a vital part in defining the brand's voice, which is of equal importance as the face. You wouldn't marry someone based on just their profile picture and 1 million real likes, would you? Think of building a brand in the same regard. It is essential to generate and maintain relationships with the target audience and develop trust among customers. This will likely result in an increase of success and recognition. The more positive the experience, the wider the expansion will reach. To create a brand identity that is unique and highly favored is one of the effective convoys that the brand's mission and values is the force that drives. So companies such as McDonald's, Nike, Target, etc. has mastered their level of brand building. When we think of these brands, we see their face and we hear their voice of what that brand without much effort applied. So what is the science behind this? That is when those branding kits come into play. And there's also, they're called style guides, brand guidelines, things like that. What is the difference? There isn't any. It's just whatever you call it. And now these manuals are designed so that this is concrete. That isn't just a green. This is a, an RGB 5789. Like it's a consistent color all the way around, so that you get the same color each time. McDonald's red is never off. It's always the same. It's because these colors have codes. These colors have codes. And so once we picked out the colors and we solidify, we have those codes.
And they're trademarked. You can trademark a color as well.
Yes. Most of them are already kind of trademarked, especially if you're using RGB colors. But this is like, so the client always knows, okay, this is my shade of red. This is my shade of green. and you'll get it every time because of the mixture of hues.
Mm.
And that's
Wow.
important, that consistency, because that's where, and not just the subliminal, but you become attached to it, becomes commonplace.
It becomes concrete, and that's what these branding kits help. They help make a brand more concrete. So you're giving it to a stakeholder. You're saying, hey, this is what our company represents. Would you like to, buy stock in my company? This is a very professional manual where it has everything outlined to the T.
Okay, so I got a question because not because, I'm sorry, no, I have a question. So for someone that's starting a business, let's say a small business, right? Like why would, or even an influencer, why do you believe they would need a branding kit and style guide, guidelines, and all the stuff that you talked about? Like, why do you think it's important for them to have something like that, especially if you're just starting off?
Well, you wouldn't build a house without bricks,
This is
right?
true.
You wouldn't build a house without structure. And so sometimes I know even with me, to tell you the truth, I'm still working on my logo. I'm still not solidified on my logo because I'm still building the structure of my own brand. And so people are like, oh, what's your logo? My logo looks like a bunch of different ones because I'm still trying to pinpoint how I want it to look. So I'm still building my foundation, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay because I understand that I want to feel a strong connection to my business. I want to feel a strong connection to what I want the visual aspect to match my core beliefs. And when you have your hands in so many pots and you do so many things, it might take a little bit longer. It might take a little bit longer, so it's okay. But what the main thing is that when you have that melting pot of ideas and thoughts and things like that, maybe you don't know how to organize it. Maybe you don't know the way that you want your duplex to look. Maybe you don't want a duplex. Maybe you want a nice country cottage. So it's kind of just so the owner can kind of identify what they want, and I just help the visual guideline, and I also help them decipher what they want by asking them the questions that I ask in the I call them intake forms. So they'll get about 6 of them, because sometimes I might be like, you know what, let me revise some of these things because I feel like we're at a standstill or it's becoming stagnant. So then I kind of have to dive a little bit deeper into their psyche.
Wow. Okay.
It's a process. I actually just reapplied to UCSD, and I got in.
Nice.
And so I'm changing my concentrated focus. I'm going to be working on my master's and my PhD. So my concentrated focus was human resources, but I'm now changing it over to marketing.
Nice.
Well deserved. Not surprised. You definitely have a way to really engage us, not just on the creative side, but really the other side of things, which is just as important. People are not going to engage with your work if they're not attracted to what they're, what they want to see or what they want to be exposed to. I mean, that's just the reality of the marketing world. I mean, that's just reality.
And even though I'm learning, like being a business owner, it really is a learn as you go process. It really, really is. Every day I'm like, oh shoot, what? How do I get past this? And so like right now I'm doing some cleaning up, and I'm doing some more, I'm being more assertive now, because before I was like a little bit too friendly, I suppose. And I was starting to get burnt out. Hence why I have to be here to breathe a little bit. And so now I'm only going to have 2 prices, which is the do it with you price and the do it for you price. And so, the do it with you price is we're going to work on this together, and the do it for you is going to be a lot more expensive, but in the long run, it's less work on their end, especially if they already have other businesses. So that's something that's going to be revamped, and it's going to go out in September. I'm going to break down, and my website will also be going out next month.
Ooh.
So I have a question because as you're talking, like I know I have these questions coming up. And in your experiences in business, right, what could you say, or what would you say is the biggest misconception in having a business, running a business, and trying to maintain the business? What do you think is the biggest misconception? Whether it's your experience or maybe,
the biggest misconception is that, oh, you're a business owner, you're balling. You got it. You're making all this money, this and that. You're not even understanding the resources and how I have to distribute resources and to make more money, or to gain more traction, or to just understanding your cost analysis is is a science and a math, and I don't like math. So
Wow.
that I was putting in more man hours than I was receiving revenue, but in the long run, it gained me more experience to become a better business owner and to conduct my business in a certain way. Right now, I have about 14 clients on retainers. So they pay me monthly.
Okay.
They pay me monthly, and then they get once a week consults for about 30 minutes. And I'm also a certified business consultant. So this can be based on, okay, what are you running into? What walls is that, what obstacles are you having an issue with? Okay, let me see how I can help you. I did your branding kit. That doesn't mean that we're done. You put me on a retainer. So now let me walk you through other, whether it's marketing, whether it's funding, whether it's, because I also do grant writing. So, I mean, it's a lot. Like I said, they say I do a lot. I do a lot of different things. And my mom always said, you're a jack of all trades, master of none. Actually, I'm master of damn near everything that I'm doing. So
I would say yes.
Yeah.
Why pick one? Why pick one? So these retainers are going to be offered as a membership. I'm going to start offering these membership services probably in January, but I'm only going to have a couple of slots. I'm not going to be able to take on as many people, especially with going back to school. And UCSD is I'm going into a 4+1 program. So I'll be working on 2 degrees at once.
Yeah.
So what, for those who,
how are you going to breathe?
About,
How are you going to breathe, Cece? How are you going to breathe during this?
I'm just going to,
you know what it
now.
is? Yeah. No,
Moment.
but you know what? I think that's good. Like, as a business owner and the person that runs a business, I think that's important that you're doing whatever to enhance, right, to grow. Because you know what happens is sometimes when a business stays a certain way for a long time and there's no change, then it's like, okay, then why would I want this if I could have a similar business that offers more, right? So I like the fact that you're willing to do more stuff, not to take in more stuff, but rather to offer more of a diverse what's the word I'm looking for? Angela, help me out here.
Like
I think I know.
service?
Yeah, like the fact that you're willing to go with the pace, like you're willing to continue, okay, you know what, I'm gonna go back to school and do this so I can offer more, but in a more intimate way, right? Because like I said, because anyone could just stay the same way, okay, and I'm good, I'm content. But the fact is you don't want to stay there. You want to keep enhancing, you want to keep advancing, you want to keep on learning more stuff so you can offer more stuff. And with that being said, how important is it to give back, right? And I wanted to ask you, what was it in your life that made you want to do the business, to want to give back, and to really help and provide and be a heart of service kind of thing? Like, what was it that made you want to do that?
Since I was a kid, I've always been very, very computer savvy, very good with persuasive writing. I mean, very good with drawing in a cell. I used to be the top seller of cookie dough every fundraiser. Like, nobody could sell more cookie dough than me. And also candles and barbecue ribs. But like, I was just so good with selling, and then so good with seeing something that wasn't as efficient and making it more efficient. That's just how my brain worked. My very first job was at 15 years old at a Greek bakery, and I was able to increase their revenue by 13% in under 4 months. So at 15 years old. And so being able to see things that are functional, but to make the function better. That's kind of always been my thing. I love puzzles. I play Sudoku. I play Sudoku. I play, solitaire and things like that. I love to put things together. I love to make things a little bit better than what they were before. And when I was 15 years old and I learned how to write my first resume, I remember being in my computer skills class and they were like, we're going to learn how to write resumes. I was the only one who was excited about learning how to write resumes. Like, I was stoked because I was like, business proposition, ding, ding, ding. And like, everybody in my family, everybody in my Aiden's, like my son's father's family, I've done everyone's resume. Everyone's resume.
Wow.
I've even onboarded my father-in-law. Like,
And that's also something that you do for people as well. So if you're out there and you're uncomfortable, you can always check in with Cece right here, and she'll definitely help you with your resume and cover letter, how to market yourself in that avenue.
I even,
because I know this is
build job profiles too, where I build out the algorithm to generate the leads that they want to get. I always say I can get you through the door of an interview, but the rest is on you. You know, the rest is on you.
Like, how much can you sell yourself after everything I've taught you, type of thing? Yeah, that makes sense. Actually, that makes sense, because I can, like you said, the whole door thing. I like that analogy. Actually, the whole door thing. Yeah, I can guide you to how to get somewhere, but then, like you said, everything else that happens after the fact, that's on you. That's true, because anyone can say, okay, I want this, and I think I'm a good fit for whatever whatever it is that you want to be a good fit for it. But if you're not able to sell yourself, it's like, I can have a nice car, I can have a nice suit, I can have a nice house, but if I don't know how to talk to people, then I'm going to turn people off.
And so the main thing I tell people is to pay attention to your body language in interviews. Pay attention to their body language, because I've interviewed so many people where I'm like in like corporate, like high scale corporate positions. I worked in biotech for Illumina. Illumina is one of the biggest biotech. We took all the Ancestry.com samples would come to us. So I'm talking about, this is a 42-acre biotech campus.
Wow.
And I was doing regular general, like, recruiting and interviewing and onboarding and training, and then I had gotten promoted to compliance, which I preferred more. But I would interview so many people, and it was just a deer in headlights. It was like pulling teeth. And so sometimes I was just like, oh, like, how could I help these people? How can I, just giving back is always seeing something that, how can I help this person understand the way I understand things, to give them a better shot, even if they're not right for this position. At least maybe they'll find a position that they are more appropriate for. And so I would pull them aside at the end and be like, hey, like, we ain't gonna hire you, but let me tell you some things, so maybe your next interview will go will go better for you. Because that's just me. I'm not gonna be like, oh yeah, you messed up, oh, it sucks to be you. No, it's not in my nature to be like that. My nature is to teach. My nature is to guide. My nature is to help. And so for me, always offering a service and stuff of something is just my nature.
Absolutely.
Even making logos and stuff. Like, I will make logos for people at random, like just random. Like, I will see something and I'll be like, oh, like, I see a lot of potential. I see a lot of drive and stuff, but like the visual aspect isn't really correlating with what they are trying to represent. So let me just, and they'll just wake up and they'll just have something just made for them. And I do that. Like, I won't even charge. Like, I don't even charge for it. Like, I'm just like, here, like, let me help you, a book cover or something like that. If you only have $1 to pay me $1, and I'll do your book cover.
Wow.
Not for everyone. I'm just saying.
That's right.
Well, I was going to say, you mentioned body language. Could you give us a hot tip as
Yes,
far as if you were
please.
in an interview, what body language to look for that might be positive, or look for to maybe like, oh, maybe I need to focus a little bit up.
Okay, hold on, let me see.
And then I know we want to get into some of your other talents, because we want to hear some of your work as well.
Hold on, I'm trying to figure out where to put this down.
Yeah, no worries.
Oh, I forgot my ring light. Can you see me?
Yeah.
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Can't see your head, but I can just see your, there we go.
Upright posture, keep your hands calm, shoulders back, shoulders down. Keep your eyebrows, face muscles relaxed. Don't fidget your hands, don't fidget your feet. If you feel like you have to move every 30 seconds. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Keep eye contact, keep eye contact, keep eye contact. Jaw relaxed. So 3 interview process. It's like, if you feel like you absolutely have to do something, you can put your hands down if you have a rubber band or something. Hands down underneath the table and just.
That's a good,
then you can't,
good tip. That's a good tip.
Flick it like this, or count the wrinkles in your hands.
It's really good advice.
Just keep.
But no one really talks about that. That's pretty interesting. And I think that's what because when I was in college, right, we had that class called Job 101 that they teach you little things, but that was something no one really talked about a lot. What you said about the movement, moving around a lot, and all this other stuff. They were talking about more about, okay, wear a suit, wear a tie, groom, and all this other stuff. And they will talk about the whole, okay, yeah, when your resume shouldn't be 2 pages, 1 page. But what you just said about posture and body language, that's something they did not talk about. So I
And like
love
I
the
said,
fact that
keep
you touched on that.
that eyebrow down, keep it relaxed, make you like feel like you're in a masseuse or something. Massage yourself beforehand. Keep your any insecurity that you feel or tension that you feel, do not let it show. Do not let it show. I get nervous on interviews, and I'm like teaching other people how to do interviews. So I have to be very aware, being self-aware in your job interview, being self-aware when you're a key speaker, being self-aware in everyday life with interaction like this, interaction in person. All of that stuff matters. Absolutely.
But you know what's crazy though? I mean, I don't know if this is only a tri-state thing or if this is an everywhere thing, but it seems because I work in retail, right? So of course, sometimes there's been times where let's say my boss couldn't, because I'm an operations manager, so when my boss is not there, that sometimes me and this other person that's also an operations manager will help him with the interview stuff. I'll ask questions, and I feel like I don't know if this is everywhere, but I feel like people don't take the interview seriously like it was when I was first trying to get a job, because I was always taught the suit and tie or business casual. Like I've seen these kids today now, they're wearing
With
jeans and
holes in them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
I've
or
interviewed
whatever,
people with
or
Yeah.
jeans with holes in them.
just
I've
a bunch.
interviewed people with, but you know what? Sometimes I have to gauge. I'm very intuitive, so sometimes I do have to gauge. Maybe their background isn't a lot to maybe their interview skill is flawless. Maybe they have every single. I'm not gonna not hire you because you have jeans. Maybe
Right.
that's what you have. Maybe that's what you have available. Maybe you don't have the funding for a suit and tie. So for me, yes, try your best to look as presentable as possible. If you only have jeans and so, like jeans and a shirt or whatever, and your at least your hair is it's out of your face and your nails are clean, or there's certain things that you can do that don't really cost a lot of money. So for me, the engagement has to be there. Remember to be engaged and also have questions. Make sure you're asking questions back. And
How
also,
important is that?
it's very important because they want to know that you understand their organization and their core beliefs and you understand their brand. And so, um, there's been times where I've gone on interviews and I would read up about their company in my car
Mm,
before I walk
mm,
into the building,
mm.
or do it while I'm waiting for them to call me back, because that is so essential. Like, do you understand what our okay, so do you know anything about us? That's when you hit them. And whenever people are always like, oh wait, yeah, I know that you do this and this and this, you got 50 points off the bat right there because you understand and you did your homework.
Mm. And I feel like a lot of people don't, well, a lot of younger generations don't do that, or they're not taught that as much. And I always wonder why that is. Because I think to study a little bit about the program, I mean, about the company before at
Read
least you have an
the
idea.
job
Okay,
description.
yes, because when I was interviewing for a boutique called Mickey Moto, which they specialize in pearls, and they're like in the top 5% and stuff. Okay, I'm getting crazy, but anyway, but that's the first thing I did. Yeah, like who created the culturized pearls? Why did he create it? Why was it important to maintain its shape? Why was this additional process important? Like I felt like that was very intriguing because I didn't know that's what that was until I read a little bit about it. So that was pretty cool. And then when I went into the interview, oh, okay, I see the vibe now, because yes, it's I don't want to say bougie. I don't like saying that word, but rather it's very high end
Classic.
luxury retail. But the presentation matches exactly what I was studying. I was like, oh, I get it
And
now.
that
So
has
there's certain,
everything to
yeah,
do with brand
yes,
building, identity, and brand
yes,
awareness. And you
yes.
also have to, when we think about branding, don't forget, you have to measure your brand awareness.
Mm,
Measure your
yep.
brand awareness. That helps you understand where you are within the public eye. Brand awareness can be measured with customer surveys. Um, Things like, it could be customer surveys, it could be word of mouth, it could be just like your rating, your like review on Google and things like that. Like I didn't realize until like a couple weeks ago, which I'm still working on, but I was like, shoot, I don't have a resume as a business owner. I don't have a resume as a business
Wow.
owner. Holy cow, I don't have a resume. Nopala was, I don't know if you guys know Naked Poet, but Naked Poet, our Prickly Pear Productions, she's one of my really good friends, and she we hang out. We met virtually, but like now we hang out in real life, and I said, I don't have a resume as a business owner. Why am I struggling to do this resume as a business owner? And it's because that is a whole different realm for me. So it's always a learning, it's a learning experience. And whether you are the interviewee or your interviewer, it's a learning experience. And there are a lot of skills that you can do to increase your chances of getting that job, to increase your chances of getting that client. You know, it's all the same. And that's another reason why I always have my clients, before they become clients, I do about a 15 to 30-minute consultation with them, because I need to engage with them to see if it's even something. I don't take just anyone. You know, I need to engage with you and see, oh, are you going to make my hair fall out? Or like,
Right.
or am I going to be a good fit for you? And are you going to be a good fit for me? Because I have fired myself from clients.
Oh, wow.
I have fired myself from clients because they take too long giving me back the information that I need. They're too indecisive, and I'm trying to break it down into any way I can. I can't go back and forth 18 times through an email exchange, and then you still don't know. It's not my job to tell you what you want.
I'll say this. That's important that you mention it, because we talk about how we submit like our poetry out and we get rejected, but sometimes we're afraid to say no when we know the partnership isn't going to work out. So that's important. I think that's very valuable information as well, that it's okay to break off a professional relationship that's just not going to work out when you know it's not going to work out.
And then you make it very clear in your service agreement. You send out a service agreement with your PO. And when you collect that non-refundable security deposit, this is non-refundable. This is going to go towards any headaches that you might cause me to go get Excedrin at CVS. This might,
Yeah, wait, I got my coupon somewhere. Oh my gosh, yo, that's funny.
Also, I did make you guys for helping me promote my business, and you guys are solid. Like, you guys are solid. I got a lot of business inquiries last time. Like, I ended up getting like 6 clients. So I do want to say thank you so much for all of your support.
That's what it's all about.
To show my my gratitude, I did make the Unraveled Influence. I made you guys 4 sample logos. And I sent them right before we started. So this is one. This is the unraveled tape from the tape cassette that I found in my garage.
Oh my gosh. This is incredible.
And that's to
Cece,
try to match what you have right now. And I gave it a neon effect.
I love that.
Again, each one has its own feeling. It's hard sometimes as the artist to pick what's the feeling I want to go with.
This is showing unraveled like crochet.
Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. These are so great.
Yeah.
And it's like,
and then there's this.
And I did the word art too.
Oh, wow.
Because of the expressions and the words, and that is exchanged and that is shared on this platform. Sometimes it is something that becomes unraveled until you get it to roll back in.
Wow.
So all of these things have so much depth. When I do graphic design, everything is very intentional. Every single color that I choose, everything. When I'm doing, I call myself an intuitive graphic designer. When I'm doing intuitive work like this, usually that's my best work. Usually the clients that say, hey, do it from your gut, like usually I've never failed. Like, I've never had a client not do intuitive design.
You really do, because again, you are creating a feeling out of nothing. And I mean, you have you start color, font, and then the actual logo. But I gotta say this too, and I'm a little biased, and Andy, I'm gonna take it a little bit to the left, but I gotta tell you, August babies are the best. I'm an August baby.
Well, today's my yesterday was my sister's birthday. She just turned. Well, wait, she said 34, but it's really 43. But we flipped the numbers.
23rd,
but yeah,
23rd.
and then my cousin Annette is August 20th.
Andy and Cece, hold on, don't fall down. My dad's August 5th. My mom's August 12th. My youngest daughter's August 12th. I'm August 21st. My brother's August 28th. His wife is August 26th.
Wow.
And then everybody I keep meeting, August.
My
babies. They're the
my Aiden's dad, his baby's mother is who's my esthetician and my best friend. She's August 20th. My sister-in-law is the 21st, and I'm the 23rd.
Oh wow, that's got to be a fun.
So
weekend.
speaking of
very well, very
wow,
well, too well.
So speaking of birthdays, what do you got for us as far as birthdays? Because I know you're doing a collection, right? You're doing like a donation thing.
I made up. So like last year I actually did. Oh, that is right. Obama's is on Monday. Actually, I share the same birthday with Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant's not had.
Oh, rest in peace. Rest in peace.
Yeah. I share one with Will Chamberlain and then Kenny Rogers.
Oh, and the I Dream of Jeannie. Barbara.
Oh,
I Dream.
I used to love that show back then.
So for my birthday last year, I did like a little like donation thing, and like people came through. They paid for my whole weekend. Like I went out, like I had drinks, I had a good dinner. Like it was great. So like this year, especially because I just had to dish out the money for my tires. I was like, that wasn't expecting. But anyhow, so yeah, I made like a little like a little PayPal thing. I can put the link in my bio because I always forget to do that. I'll make it and then I'll forget. Like I forget about it, and then I'm like, oh, nobody donated anything, and it's like, well, duh, you didn't tell anyone. So and even to like my Cash App and stuff like that. So what I want to do is go to Beetlebox, which is a Tim Burton's restaurant here in it's in Los Angeles, and I'm a huge Tim Burton fan. My favorite movie is Corpse Bride, and then it's a close tie with Beetlejuice. So
Beetlejuice.
Like if anybody wants to buy me an Edward Scissorhand burger or donate towards like the Edward Scissorhand anything, you can donate.
I'm gonna get you the glove. I'm gonna get you the actual hand.
I have it.
Oh, you do? Oh my God, that's awesome.
Of course she's got it.
I have it. I've had it since I was 18. And then
wow.
And I have one that's bedazzled. So they can either donate to like my Cash App or they can donate to my PayPal. I don't have the link on hand right now, but I will post it today-ish. But yeah, so if anybody wants to help support towards my Tim Burton meal for my birthday and these leaves in my hair.
That's good luck, no?
I don't know. It's pretty dry. I don't know if the universe is trying to say I need to deep condition. But
oh my gosh.
Yes, August babies are usually very creative. We are creators, and we can be very stubborn in our mannerism sometimes about the way that we create. And I used to be one of those people that could not take what you told me. I'm going to do it this way because, and then I kind of like, that's it. But then I realized that my growth was becoming stagnant. And so when I started opening up myself to what people were saying and more of it wasn't criticism, it was concrete, it was constructive. Then I became a better artist because of that. My writing coach, he's been like my writing mentor now for about over a year. And when we listened to my old stuff that wasn't as structured, or when I wasn't really understanding, it had been like 15 years since I've had music theory. I used to be trained in opera. So it's been a very long time since I've really studied music theory. So you get rusty. And when he came in and kind of started guiding me and I started becoming more open to the information that he was giving me, the phenomenal growth to the point where I cry because I'm like, what? Like if I was going to be so stubborn, I wouldn't be the artist that I am now. And so just remembering to channel it out in a way, and you don't have to take everyone's feedback, but taking some feedback and trying it out can change everything about your artistry and can make you a better artist. So I'm very grateful because I've always been shut down to listening to people telling me what to do, because it's just like a Leo Virgo thing. You can't tell them nothing.
Yeah, I'm Leo
Right.
Virgo too. I'm on you. I'm on you. I'm right with you. I'm on the
You
cusp as well, my darling.
Yeah, the cusp of
Yeah.
exposure.
Oh
Can't tell
yeah.
us nothing about anything, especially
Yeah.
if it's something that we are doing. But that's not really the right mindset that you want to have,
No,
because then if you
absolutely not.
become stagnant and shut down, then all of those doors of opportunities that could open up for you are going to be stagnant and shut down.
Mm.
That's very,
Wow.
very important. Again, this is kind of similar to what we talked about earlier with Robert Kazi about feedback is crucial, and authentic
Mm-hmm.
feedback is really what's important, not just toxic positivity without really giving some context to the feedback. And like you said, sometimes it's uncomfortable, and they're going to rip something that maybe you thought was part of your heart apart, and that's okay, because they're going to actually help you grow in that way. And that's what I think having that writing coach really did for you. And
that's why so many
what
people, he's actually like he's like my best friend now. Like he's like he's one of my best friends, because he goes, I go, I don't know why I'm nervous. Like, you make me nervous. Like, I don't want to share my stuff. Like, but he's like, but he's like, it's not about being nervous. It's about growing. You know, it is about growing. That's the factor that you want to get to, because when he first heard me and he told me in the studio, he said, you're already great. He's like, but I can see you becoming legendary.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't even look at myself as anything that could become legendary. And then as everything's growing and stuff, with the spoken word piece that I just posted, it's called Street Stoned. I posted the first 2 parts of it. I'll do the third part probably Monday. I'll drop up the third part. But when I sent him that spoken word piece, because he told me people, especially in the hip hop community, people admire the realness. When you're doing metaphors, it can't be something that's not real compared with something that's not real, because it's just la la land after that. He's like, I want you to dive in and tap into something that is real. And I lifted a mental block, something I had been mentally blocking for like about 18 years. And it's the relationship that I had with my father that adopted me. And there was things in there that everything that I put in there is true. And yes, the circumstances were pretty brutal and pretty harsh and stuff, but that was my truth. And I remember when I sent him the whole entire thing, he said, your spoken word is at fire level, like fire. Like, there's like, he was just like, there's 6 syllable counts in there. Like, he's like, you've officially reached the peak of like fire. And like, just taking, even if it's in a text form or something, but just taking that feedback from somebody that is helping me grow, I'm like,
it's so crucial. And again, to take you to that place. And like you said, they will call you out if you're not going to be raw and authentic.
Yeah.
People will see right through you. And so to take that fence or that chain away and being able to be open and free like that, that's huge. I absolutely. Wow. Andy, what do you have to say
No,
with that?
I definitely agree. To me personally, transparency is always important. You know me, Angela. You know, even when we went live with on YouTube, you know, I was very transparent. Like, I'm not afraid to be vulnerable. I mean, do I set boundaries? Yeah, but I'm not afraid to tell it like it is. Like, you know, when I read that one piece about it was called "I Committed a Sin," I was pretty much breaking down a breakdown. I was breaking down the motions I go through after you commit a sin and you did something you know you weren't supposed to do. And I was very raw with it, and I didn't care if people got offended, because this is just my life. This is my experience. You know, not caring about offense, you know, with respect. That's just how it is. But I do it with respect. You know, of course, I always do like the whole, hey, listen, this might trigger some things, but this is what it is. But I think it's important because, like you said, because if you're trying to be fake about something, then yeah, people can see right through you, like you said. And that's I really believe in transparency for sure. Yeah, that's all I really have to say. Honestly, I don't really have anything else. But I wanted to
But
ask you about your. Oh no, go ahead. I'm sorry.
no,
Go ahead.
go ahead. No, wait, Andy, if you have a question, go ahead. I was just going to continue with your thought with that.
No,
Just to,
no. So what? Because I know you do music too, Cece, and I
mm-hmm.
wanted to ask you about the music. Like, what do you got coming up? Because I know you got
Oh,
some albums
yes.
coming up. You got something coming up.
yeah. So I haven't been on a stage to perform. Last year was my busy year. I was on stages left and right. I was starting to get burnt out. I was getting booked
Mm.
like crazy. So I wanted to take that time to step back, not only just to breathe, but to perfect my artistry, to perfect my craft, to perfect the direction in which I want to go into. Um, I'm still not all the way ready. I feel like, I mean, I guess you'll never feel like you're ready, right? You always feel like
Oh,
you're never
never,
ready.
never.
And I guess I was kind of waiting too for the blessing of like my writing coach, to like kind of tell me like where I was at and stuff. And the last 4 pieces that I've done, that I've shared with him and stuff, he said, now you're ready to get into the studio to get these laid out. So I have studio time coming up. It's funny, I'm back here towards Fresno, and there is a producer called Ill Instrumentals. And he actually lives out here. He lives like 15 minutes from here. I met him on SoundCloud. And so I'm going to see if he wants to link up maybe today or tomorrow. But I think the next single that I am going to release, it's called Doesn't It Feel So Good? And this song has my first attempt of a contra melody. And
Mm.
and it's about that aha moment when you realize that you can do and you can be whoever you want to be. When you let it go, you can grow. And doesn't it feel so good? Like, it's just, doesn't it feel like so good just to know like, oh, I have all this power. And I'll read the lyrics for you, only because my voice is not, I haven't sang in like a week. Hold on, doesn't it feel so good? Sorry. Feels so
That's
good.
okay. The words enough. I mean, they'll pull you in. They'll punch you in because you're. I mean, the layers. And I'm looking forward to hearing this. This is definitely, Andy. What do I say? I get to hear the words I need to hear every week. So
Yeah.
I need to hear these words. So I'm gonna mute up so I can hear these incredible words.
She tells a different story, one that doesn't lack the glory. She lives to sweet her worries, 'cause she's not of normalcy. She's free from her binds and she's well aligned. She holds peace of mind 'cause she moves with the time. With her life, she makes it right. To be who you are, doesn't it feel so good? Take life in control, doesn't it feel so good? Eyes define your whole world, doesn't it feel so good? You make your own like it's your home. You can have anything, be anyone, let go of your pain only if you want. Because she knew her power, and it was her. All along, it was her. She doesn't have people who project anything she doesn't want to feel. She has only counterparts that have both worked to heal. She doesn't stress for money to become real because she's basking in abundance deal after deal. The day she let her trauma go, she became full within her soul. The way she would think of karma, she was more than restored. It was her world, she held control. She was her highest self in the purest form. So doesn't it feel so good?
Wow.
I'm like, wait till you guys hear like the whole
Oh wow.
thing.
Oh
Like,
yeah. When it all has all of the pounding of the every part of the elements all come together. Andy, I think you were muted when you were saying something.
Oh, whoops! I didn't realize I muted myself. Oh my God! Sorry. I was gonna say what came to mind was a caterpillar. I can't even say the word. Caterpillar, where they wrap themselves. I think it's a caterpillar. They wrap themselves as a
yeah,
cocoon. You know, they do the. You know, and they do the.
it's
So I feel
meta.
like the cocoon represents the stuff you're letting go, right? It represents like every time you overcome something, every time you start to get over something, every time you start to get reflected. So you know what? I get it now. I feel like that's what the cocoon represents. And then the minute it's time to embrace your new self, I think that's when the butterfly comes out. And that's the image I got while you was right. So doing that piece, because I think what made it interesting too was the fact that you had the sun in the background while you were saying it, like right now. So that's what even made it more profound. I was like, oh snap. Yo,
That's
listen,
that's part of it. That's part
listen,
of it. And that Cece does
yo,
it.
don't
She
play
does it.
with
She
me. I'll
markets.
dissect the shit out of stuff, man. Don't play with me, man, because you give me some, I'll dissect that shit, man. But that's what I got with the sun, like the butterflies doing the whole, and now the butterfly gets to fly and enjoy the weather and all this stuff. So,
Wow,
that's how
also,
that is supposed to be.
there's also one more piece I wanted to share,
of
which
course.
will be
Yeah,
another
go ahead.
follow-up.
But before you do that, I want to say this real quick because I want to say for me, letting go of your pain is the hardest thing to do. But at the
Yeah.
same time, once you do it, it's the best feeling you're ever gonna get.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's the fear of not you have to jump over the ledge. It's so difficult to make that leap. And I think doesn't it feel so good? I think you really explained how powerful it
feel so good? Doesn't it feel so good? Doesn't it feel so good? Yeah.
Look at that.
Doesn't it feel good? Doesn't it feel good? That's how that little hook goes.
Nice.
I love it. Exactly.
And
Again,
it's true what
so
you
scary.
said, the letting, yeah, but it's so true what you're saying because every time you talk about the whole letting go thing, I always think about the rope analogy. I see this, I can't find this illustration to this very day. I can never find it again, but it's pretty much about letting go. When you hold on to the rope, your hands are going to get all, your hands are going to, you're going to get hurt, right? So the imprint of the rope's going to be in your hand. Your hand starts bleeding and stuff like that, but eventually it's going to get to the point where your hand cannot hold on much longer. And what happens is, what happens after a while, your arms get tired and then you fall and you get hurt. Because if you keep trying to hold on, it's going to let you go before you let go of it. And though that same way, I think the fact that when you decide, okay, I'm going to actually move on and let go of it without that letting go of me, I'm going to let go of it. But it's like you said, doesn't it feel so good that now I can use my hands for something more important? Because when you use both your hands to hold on, but then this hand gets like, okay, I'm tired now. But again, you could only you could do this for so long to the point that it's gonna get tiring. And it's like it's always this saying that my sister always says. My sister always says this to me when we're having a deep conversation. She says, "When your body tells you what to do, if you don't do it, it's gonna do it for you."
I literally ended up in the hospital for 15 days because of that same reason. And I'm getting out of a 10-year relationship and we're still processing things. And I said, being in love with you is like being in love with a siphon.
Man, wow.
And
Yo,
he's like,
I'm
that's the thing
looking
about
forward to that.
being with a
So
depth of a poet of depth. It's like
yo.
being in love with you is being in love with the siphon. Like I feel like my gas done ran out. I don't even know how long ago, and I don't have any gas money. I'm now driving a Tesla. I don't need it anymore.
Yo, but that's exhausting, man.
We'll talk, Cece. That's incredible.
It's
You said you had another piece you wanted to
exhausting,
share?
though. Man. Yes, please.
Yeah, I want to make
It's a
sure we
treat.
honor that second piece.
Yeah. So this is also I'm still trying to work the details if I'm gonna sing it out or if I'm gonna flow it, like if I'm gonna sing it or I'm not sure yet. I think I found a beat for it yesterday, so that's another reason why I wanted to link with the producer and see what he said. See if he can build, because my writing coach also does beats, and so he'll build beats around my words. So like that's dope. So it's called You Won't Even Try. You won't even try to grow your mind, killing your divine as you're wasting time. You won't even try. Yet you want to split the difference. We don't even have the same instance because you chase what clinks and I'm stacking ceilings, filling sinks. That's the difference. Why think I'm close when I'm off in the distance? I work towards resilience as you lack consistence. Bring a knife to fight. No need for ear bites since you pump the night. Professor, test your life when you don't even try. Illuminate the mind, made ill to a light. How you gonna read my mind? Braille would never help your sight. You're selectively blind. I select the right to align, and you must marinate upright. Wasting time, wasting life, cracked is your mind as your cast iron fried. So before you die, ask yourself what you're doing in the meantime. Do you even try? Oh, that's right. Not the type. Just think twice. Dreams to place in sight. Hold your peace inside. Ego suicide will grant everything you like. Be dope to your kids. Now choose dope over kids. What's your highest bid? Pop your lid? To each their own, cast the stone, get hit by two more. Because what you put out in the world is the only thing you can control. shocked when the tables turn, and yes, those scorned hearts burn. Live a life not compounded with style. I think it might take a while. You haven't walked a mile, got problems underneath the smiles, bluffing like your cards are wild, confused by your selfies, because it's all lies that you see. That's not reality. That's just an unhealthy normalcy.
Oh,
And that was my first attempt at Pig Latin.
oh
I don't know if
shit!
anybody
Wow.
caught the
Wow,
Pig Latin line in there. It's illuminate the mind, made ill to a light.
wow, I wow.
I love it. Oh my gosh. That's like almost like a little Easter egg just to snack on for a minute. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh, Cece,
yeah,
that's just you always come with such intricate layers and just seeing
yes.
remember that feather, how many layer upon layer upon layer on that feather. You are that. You are layer upon layer upon layer of so many incredible things. Oh my
You
gosh.
meant
The beat
this
of that
feather?
one.
You meant this feather? Wait.
Let's see. Let's see it. You know, I know it's
I'm
like gonna be that
I'm
one.
mad
Yeah.
you remember.
Oh my
Wow,
gosh. Oh my gosh. Cece. Yep, that's the feather. That is the
the
feather.
What
Holy
about
feather.
the
shit. Oh my
cherry
gosh.
blossom tree? I
I
was like, remember the
oh
cherry blossom?
oh I
When
remember
I
the cherry
first met you
blossom tree.
guys, it
Yeah,
was with
Oh
the
yeah.
cherry blossom tree. It took me 2 months, but I got it done. I was like,
wow.
Again, it's so intricate
Woo.
that you have to put layer upon layer upon
I had
layer.
to
And
put
I
those
think
dots
that's what you
one by
show.
one.
That's what you
Thank
really
you.
are the definition of somebody who really puts every single dot themselves. And that's why you actually radiate. We feel you like because you can do that. Don't you think, Andy?
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you on everything you guys are talking about. I'm just trying to process everything. Oh my God. You know, it's funny because the person I feel like, okay, so the way this spoke to me, right? So I saw it from different perspectives. I feel like I'm talking to complacency, if that makes sense. I'm like, yo, you won't even try to help me out, right? But I feel like I'm talking to the thing or the person, but I feel like that is also talking to me, like who that person or that thing is telling me, oh, but you won't even try, right? Like you want to make these moves, but you won't even try because you're afraid of what it could do for you or it could do to you. And instead of, but how you gonna know if you stay in that complacent state or if you stay in that stagnant state? You're not gonna really understand what it is to grow in your life, right? Because if we stay in one spot because we're so comfortable, then you're never gonna really truly learn what it is to be your authentic self. And that's the way that piece spoke to me. I mean, there's so many other layers to it, but that was one thing that really caught my eye. And I think a lot of us do that in life where it's like, damn, but it's like this, like I got a good thing here. Why would I want to let go of this? Or why would
Or
I
I'm
even want
comfy.
to,
I'm comfortable.
yeah, right. Yeah, I'm already comfortable having this here. Like it's
I'm
easy to
comfortable
be
with
here.
misery. I'm comfortable with misery because at least I have someone. At least I have
Right,
someone to be
exactly.
miserable with.
Like
And it's
I've
like,
had friends like that. I've had friends like that. Like they'll stay in a relationship because it's what they know. But sometimes you have to get into the unknown in order for you to know, if that makes sense.
and when
You
you stop
gotta
doing
tear
this,
We've all
yourself
done it.
all the way
Listen,
down.
I've done
and
it.
when you
I've done it
stop
myself
doing
too.
this, and you start doing this,
Mm-hmm.
that's when
Because one
growth
place,
comes in.
there's that saying, you point one finger, but there's three fingers pointing back at you. That's when, okay, you know what? It's one of those, you know what? Sometimes you need to be told about yourself. And when you're ready to be told about yourself, that's when you are ready to face the reality you need to face, because it can't always be this. Like you said, it can't always be that all the time. It can't. Because the more you do that, you're running away. You can't keep doing that. You have to eventually face it face on. And it's going to be uncomfortable. It has to be uncomfortable. Because if you're not uncomfortable, then you're not really facing it. You're just, okay, here it is. But what are you going to do once you're there? Okay,
Um,
so
yeah, absolutely. Andy, there was a question that came in from our friend
oh,
Asian
yeah?
Composer
Okay.
Asian. The saying goes, each one teach one. How does your creativity play into this?
I'm sorry, what was the first part?
The saying goes, each one teach one. How does your creativity play into this?
Each one teach one. I guess it is always a learning experience for me. each one teach one. So I get challenged a lot. I get challenged left and right in every aspect of my business, of my creative process. I will be like direct and be like, you know what? I haven't done this, or I have not encountered something like this, but this is a process that I'm going to take like this, break it down, and let me see if I can make it work. If not, here's plan B, C, and D. So whichever steps I need to take, I'll find them, and I will do everything I can to deliver. And then I will teach you the ways that I learned myself, because sometimes it's a mixture of steps from A, steps from B, steps from C, and steps from D. So just being very transparent, especially like with the cherry blossom. Oh God, the cherry blossom tree. That took me forever because I was the 5th graphic artist that she hired. And when she started, she said, maybe you don't have the skill set, or maybe you can't, or maybe, I'm sorry, what? Did you say I can't? I'm sorry, did you say I can't? I can't. So then I become challenged, and then that fire comes off. The fire starts to, kind of, because I don't like, I mean, I don't mind being challenged, but like that whole maybe you can't. Why can't I?
I've been doing this for a long time. What you talking about?
Why can't I? And you know what? That was a very challenging project for me. And I think that's why I did over it day and night until I figured it out. I used origami leaves. Like, I used origami petals, for crying out loud, one by one to make each thing dynamic. And so when I showed her my process after it was done and she said she liked it, then I went and I said, I want to show you the process just so you're aware. And I took each petal and I showed her.
Wow.
Said, oh my God, she was almost sick. She couldn't believe that I did. It was like 3215 was the amount of origami petals I used for that tree.
Wow.
And so for each one, teach one, it's always a learning experience for me. And then I will always present the obstacles that I have found or faced or anything like that, and let them know. But I don't do that until after the project has been completed.
Right.
I don't want to use that as a justification of why I'm lacking or why it's not getting done fast enough or anything like that. I always wait until after they are satisfied. Then I'm like, just to let you know, this is the steps that I took. This is how I was able to deliver your vision after other graphic artists were unable to. So I can.
Wow.
That's important, because again, I think people who are not artists or not in the industry or in that field, they don't know how much pain, sweat, blood, tears, time,
carpal tunnel,
sleepless nights go into this. And again, to pull from out of, just a conversation or, with a general idea. And again, it shows really to your talent. And the fact that you're able to show them this is what it took to get here. Wow. I think that's incredible too, because you're educating other people.
I'm also
on things that they just don't know.
I'm also breaking it down to make my life easier. These are all codes of color. So if you're telling me that you want a blue or a green, it's not just a blue or a green. It is. It's 00FFAF, or it's 0087AF, or it's.
Wow.
So that's
a big deal, because again, you're showing in a very simple way how really fucking complex your job and your mind has to be in order to create so many variations of product. And again, sometimes she's described, if you're just joining us, Cece considers herself to be an intuitive artist, on top of she's got so many incredible business
terracotta.
Oh my gosh, I'm really responding to that those swatches of color there, Andy. I love that.
Yeah. So, wow.
Again,
if you go to Lowe's, they, like, if you try to look for paint, they have this thing with cards. It's like a whole bunch of, it's not just blue, but different shades of blue.
I have them in my car.
I have them. Yo.
Yeah, because
It's
I
intriguing.
wanted to come up. That's why I build color schemes from scratch. I'm able to build certain color schemes. What color works with what color doesn't work with what color. And then I have the codes and stuff, whether it's a variant of purple, whether it's a royal, because there's warm colors versus cool colors. And so have you ever seen The
Wow.
Devil Wears Prada?
Yes.
You know how she goes,
I've
it's
seen
not
clips
just
of it.
green.
Yeah.
It's not just green. She's absolutely right. It isn't just green. That green is fundamental to if it is going to be your primary or your secondary color.
Mm-hmm.
It's fundamental. I always say with brand colors, 2 to 3 primary, no more than 3. 2's good, 3, and then you can have up to 5 colors because the other secondary colors are going to be your accent colors, whether that's silver or whether that's gold, whether it's a metallic coating. You know, it's there's levels to this, seriously. So
if you're just joining us, definitely watch the replay where Cece goes into detail her brand kits and how incredibly detailed. So if you're interested in developing your own brand kit or you're a business professional, it's a big deal because, again, there is a psychology to this.
And what do the colors represent? What do the colors mean that you're selecting? I would be like, you want blue? Okay, blue is usually used for healthcare. Blue is usually used for healthcare or software. So I break it down to that level of like I said, I put a lot into it.
Okay.
And I found the pyramid, guys.
Yay!
Oh, let me see. Okay, you saw it here first on Unraveled Influence.
So this is Keller's equity model. And it states the identity. Who are you? The 2 is the meaning. What are you? The 3 is the response. What about you? And then the last one is what about you and me? So this is how a brand pyramid scheme is built. And imagery, as you can see, is towards the base. It's right here.
And I want to say too, again, not to necessarily put anybody off, but being an artist, a writer, or whatever, that you also have to market yourself. So that is something you also have to consider as, you know, somebody who wants to put their work out there. If you're going to target a certain audience for your own personal work, how are you going to reach them? How are you going to connect to them? That's important. I think that's, again, if you're interested in that, even as an artist, definitely reach out to Cece. She's more than
your brand.
Yeah,
you are your brand. Thank you.
Amen.
It's more than just businesses. Well, guys, we went over a little bit over an hour. So let's go ahead and put out some last minute thoughts and then anything else, Cece, you want to make sure that we talk about, because again, we have some August birthdays in the house tonight. So we're going to talk about that before we close. But Andy, any last words or thoughts for our group here?
No, just thank you for being you, and thank you for just, like giving us the insights of what it is you go through as a business owner, as a person that runs the business, that creates the business, that helps others. Like, thank you for just breaking that down the way you did, because a lot this is stuff that school don't even teach you, to be honest. This is stuff that even business owners themselves don't even teach, and the fact that you're willing to teach that's remarkable, honestly.
If I can
so thank you. That's
somebody save some footwork and some traction, then then I feel satisfied, because there is a lot of oops and uh-oh moments and oh my god, why did I do that? Oh, I messed up. You're gonna mess up. It's just the truth. You're gonna mess up, and it's okay. As long as we can share where we messed up or our shortcomings with other people so they don't make the same mistake, and that's going to help another business thrive, because it's all about community and growth. And I also tell people too, if you're starting a business, get involved with the community. Get involved with your community as much as you possibly can. Take an outreach, and give back. I give a percentage of my earnings. I give a percentage of my earnings to Johns Hopkins Hospital and to the Ronald McDonald House, because they helped me. I survived because of them.
Wow.
That's important, and again, that's you give, and that's why, Cece, you just get so much. You get so much love, respect out here. We know you as an artist, a music artist, a poet, a writer, a performer, but again, there is so much more to you. And again, out there, if you need anything from her, she is very, very, very kind-hearted and easy to work with. And again, she knows. Some people just see things and understand, it's research and development, you're going to get that group and they're going to have an opinion whether they like it or not. That's just how they naturally react to things. And people in a research and development situation will just give you how they feel with no real reason for it. So again, Cece really understands that. And again, how you really explain the difference with the colors and the feelings and all that. And I know, seriously, John Hopkins and Ronald McDonald House, that's so incredibly important to always. That's why I'm so honored to always have you on with us. And anytime we can talk about you, I'm more than happy to talk about you to everybody I know. But they already know who you are, right, Andy? They already know who you are.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
So yeah. So I was gonna ask, so any advice, any last thoughts before we end this live?
I'm just wondering if my mother-in-law finished making the Alfredo because I'm starving.
I love it.
I'm so
We're all
hungry.
gonna
See, like when I come here, I don't have to do nothing, like nothing at all. And I'm like, I can smell it. I wonder if it's done.
How far of a drive do you have, Cece? How far of a drive do you have, Cece, when you head back towards San Diego?
About 5 hours.
Oh,
about 5. Yeah, it's not too bad. I mean, it depends on traffic, but my car is turbo. I have an EcoBoost. So if I go like towards evening time, nighttime, then I can get there in like 4 or maybe 3. Mm-hmm. But
yeah.
I'm trying to condone speeding or driving like in an unsafe way.
I love driving overnight. I think it's just so peaceful. It's incredible. You don't have to change lanes. So yeah, you actually don't have to speed as much.
No, and it's not nearly as hot, so like your tires won't expand and like you probably won't blow them. It's done.
So I just want to wish you a safe drive whenever you do get back, because I know you just got your tires and your oil change. And as a woman who just drove to Texas and back, I definitely understand how important a vehicle that works is. But also, Cece, I just want to wish you, don't forget to take care of yourself, because you do so much for others and also your creative soul, that don't forget, Cece, that we need you to also be taking care of yourself. Ooh, is that what you're eating? All right, well, I got to get off this live because now I'm hungry too. So.
Yeah, I'm going to take care of myself. Thank you so much, everyone. And yeah, I'm taking this time to try to rest and things like that. I'm going to get back to everyone's emails and start scheduling out these consults Monday. So bear with me as I just take the time to breathe. And
yes,
I appreciate you guys promoting my business and everything that you guys do. I'm just tired because as a business owner and somebody who has their hands in many pots, you get tired.
Absolutely.
I just get tired. And so yes, I'm taking this time to take care of myself, and I appreciate you guys so very much. And I really hope that you guys like the logos, and whenever you decide on one in particular, I will give you the variants of that along with the information that you need for trademark.
Oh wow, thank you, Cece. Oh my gosh. I want you to go because you got to eat and you have to have all that fun stuff. But thank you, everybody, for joining us. Cece, you're always incredible.